Hi there, I'm Bee, and welcome back to Read and Roam, the channel where we explore text and how it fits into our world. I just stopped at a food truck festival for lunch, and wow, there are so many choices. There are burgers, tacos, pizza, smoothies, desserts, you name it, they have it. I'm leaning toward pizza, but there are two different food trucks serving it. So I was wondering which one to choose. How do they compare? What makes them different? I found something to answer my questions, and I had to share what I found. It's another text structure. Let's take a look. On the festival's website, there are reviews written by people who have tried both of the pizzas. Listen to this. Tony's Pizza and Fire Pizza both serve delicious pizza, but it depends on what you're looking for. Tony's has a cheesy stuffed crust, while Fire Pizza has a thin, crispy crust. Tony's uses red tomato sauce, but Fire Pizza uses a creamy white garlic sauce. When it comes to toppings, both places offer lots of choices like veggies and meats. This review is an example of a text structure called compare and contrast. Does compare and contrast sound familiar? We've used it before in one of our fiction videos. When we compared, we looked for what was the same between the two stories. When we contrasted, we looked for what was different. But nonfiction authors build compare and contrast right into their writing for us. Compare and contrast is a nonfiction text structure that helps the reader understand how two or more topics are alike and different. In this case, the author is telling me what is different or special about the two places and what you can find at both. Now, I think I know which pizza I want to try. I'm going to grab a slice and then I'll meet you back in the studio. I'm curious to see if we can find this same text structure in my daily discovery. Okay, I'm back in the studio. After reading the review that compared and contrasted the two pizza places, I decided to try Tony's Pizza. I couldn't pass up that cheesy stuffed crust. And let me tell you, it was so good. I took a peek into my daily discovery and I found some more examples of compare and contrast text structure. This first article I found is called Alligators and Crocodiles. As I read, listen for ways the author tells us how the two are alike and different. Crocodiles and alligators are both large reptiles with scaly skin, but they live in different places. Crocodiles usually live in salt water or a mix of salt and fresh water, while alligators prefer freshwater like rivers and ponds. They both have strong tails and are excellent swimmers. Whoa, that was packed with info. I saw multiple similarities and differences. Most of the time, compare and contrast structure involves a lot of facts. But we've already learned how to use a tool that can help us break down this structure and clearly see how the author shows what's alike and what's different between the two topics. That tool is a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram has the two circles that overlap in the middle. In that middle space, we write what we understand is the same about the two topics. On the outside parts, we write what's different. Let's look back at their article and see if we can identify each part of the structure to pull out the similarities and differences. In the first sentence, the author uses the word both. This is a clue that the author is comparing. The author tells us that they are both large reptiles with scaly skin. These facts can go in the middle of our Venn diagram. Then I see the word but. That's a clue that a difference is coming next. The author explains that crocodiles live in salt water or a mix of salt and fresh water, while alligators live in fresh water. While is another clue word you'll often see between facts when the author is contrasting two things. We'll write these differences in the outside circles. Do you see a clue in the last sentence? I see the word both again. Another similarity. The author says they both have strong tails and are excellent swimmers. So that goes in the middle too. In this structure, the author shows what's the same by grouping similar facts together and using clue words like both. Then, differences come after clue words like but and while. The author moves back and forth between similarities and differences to help us understand how crocodiles and alligators are connected, but not exactly the same. Let's look at another example of this text structure. This article is called Books or Movies. Books and movies both tell stories. They can have exciting characters and surprise endings. However, books use words to describe the story, while movies show the story with pictures and sound. Books are meant to be read, while movies are meant to be watched. Now it's your turn. Pause the video and find the ways the author compares and contrasts books and movies. Record the similarities in the middle of your Venn diagram and the differences on the outside. In the first two sentences, I noticed the clue word both. Books and movies both tell stories and can have exciting characters and surprising endings. I'll record those in the middle of the diagram. Then, I saw the word however. Similar to the word but, this can tell us the author will list differences next. The author points out that books use words, while movies use pictures and songs. And books are meant to be read, while movies are watched. There's that clue word, while, separating the differences. I'll add these to the outside of the diagram. Each group of facts helps us understand how books and movies are alike in some ways, but also very different. Compare and contrast text structure helps us see that two topics can be connected in ways we might not think about. When we look at similarities and differences, we can see that ideas and topics have more in common than if we had just learned about them separately. And guess what? We use this skill in real life too, just like I did at the food festival earlier today, thanks to that helpful pizza review. The next time you're choosing a food to eat, a movie to watch, or a game to play, try comparing and contrasting. Until next time, remember, where there are words, there's a world to explore. See ya.
Hey, hey.